You know, you can tell you are inspired when you are speaking or when you're writing and you look back on what you said or what you wrote and you say to yourself, huh, yeah, that is true. That's the feeling you get, and that's inspired work, it's inspired art.
Do you struggle with that mythological subject we all call work-life balance? If so, trust me, you're not alone. My name is Marcus Sheridan, and this is my journey as a professional speaker and business consultant, trying to make my impact on the world while at the same time striving to be the best husband, father, and giver I can be. Friends, welcome to The Balance. It's a big day, huh, son?
Yeah.
We got JT and Z Money here, and first time attempting to wakeboard. Should be interesting. JT, how do you feel?
Good, but nervous. Take two!
Alright. So let's straighten up. Alright, it's rock and roll time. Turn, turn! Oh! He's a beast! That was cool. Second time up.
That was wicked.
Yeah, he crushed it. He's good at this stuff. I don't know how he does it though. It's 11:40 at night. Now I'm finally ready to jump on the elliptical. But I've been working on my book. Now this book, which is entitled They Ask You Answer, Surprise, Surprise, has been really the bane of my existence over the last 3 or 4 years. And I should have, in some ways, I should have done it a while back. One of the issues with books, and like in this case a nonfiction book, it's supposed to be 60,000 words. Like, that's kind of the minimum that they want it to be, unless you get special exceptions. Like there's been lots of books that were not 60,000 words that were successful, like Who Moved My Cheese, which was like a couple thousand words. But for the most part, they're long. 60,000 words is a lot. And so what I've done is I wrote out what I thought the book was, and then I tallied up all the words, and I'm at 44,000. I'm 16,000 short, and so my worry right now is that A, how is the publisher going to react? B, what do I need to do to get it to 60,000 words but maintain the quality, make it great? I'm sure I'm going to figure it out, but it's been a grueling process, and it's supposed to be released right before Inbound Conference this year. So that's a launch date, and it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. You know, and the reality is this: if I had written it earlier, it wouldn't have been the right message. But because I did wait, I truly have understood more than any other time what that phrase, "they ask, you answer," means. I am excited about it. I'm nervous about it. This is the first time I'm talking about it, because honestly the reason why I haven't talked about it up to this point is because every time that I said that I was going to do this book, and I said it like 3 or 4 times to my audience, I fell flat on my face. and I didn't get it done. So it's been really embarrassing and frustrating, and that's why I've waited to this point now, because it's getting real and it's due, and I want to keep things honest and real, and that's where I am tonight. So now it's almost midnight, and I need to go work out, and hopefully we'll get this thing done.
So we got up at about 6-ish this morning, taught the workshop in Atlanta, and now we are here in Florida and it's 1:10 a.m. But the book is due, which means I gotta get this thing done, and so that's what I'm doing right now. And you know how some nights when you're just drained and you just want to go to bed, and then occasionally you have a night where for some reason you have the energy that you need. I think that's tonight. So poor Patty J is going to have the light on next to him all night long, because I think if I work on this for the next like 3 or 4 hours, I think we're going to be really, really close to finally being able to turn this manuscript in and have a stick-in celebration. And it's going to be a huge relief, and I'm starting to get excited about it instead of trepidatious, if that's a word. So there's one thing that I've definitely learned in this process of writing this book, and it's like I feel like in some ways I allowed my writing muscles, my writing chops to, what's it called, Patrick, when you don't use your muscles? Atrophy, right. And so I allowed it to atrophy, and I would give it a little bit of time, the book a little bit of time here and there, and I never got into a rhythm, never got into a flow. And when I finally buckled down and said, I've got no choice, I've got to get this done, it's amazing. It seemed everything started to snap again, and I realized that, or I have realized that sometimes we've got to get back. You know, we tell ourselves these stories of, it's just not happening for me, I'm not feeling super inspired. But in reality, what we need to do is we need to sit down and we need to start typing. We need to push through. You know, tonight, I was just like, I started this one paragraph a couple different times, and then all of a sudden I was like, you know, that's where I want to go. And then before I knew it, I had 1,400 words for that particular section of the book, and it was good. I mean, it's really, really good. And so I keep getting reminded of that. Like, why have I allowed myself not to produce as much textual content as I can? Because frankly, I'm not putting my art out there as much as I should, and it bothers me. But this has been a reinvigoration of sorts to be able to do that. It's shown me again just how quickly I can produce written content, and how it's exciting, how it's fun, how it's great to sit there and look back on it and say, man, I made that. I mean, I said that. You know, you can tell you are inspired when you are speaking or when you're writing and you look back on what you said or what you wrote and you say to yourself, huh, yeah, that is true. That's the feeling you get, and that's inspired work. It's inspired art, and I have been feeling some of that today. I think that's why I'm so excited, despite the fact that it's now 1:21 in the morning, and hopefully I'll be feeling this for the next couple of hours, you know, because when you're in it, you just go. I mean, you can't. The last thing you want to do is stop. And so I'm just going to keep going. We'll see where it takes me. I'm really hoping to get it to a point where hopefully tomorrow I can say, you know what, this thing is ready to turn into the publisher, and it is good. And ultimately, that's what we all want to say about any art that we create, any piece of content that we create, any video that we create. That's what Patty J wants to say when he puts out an episode of The Balance is, it is good. And I certainly hope to say that with They Ask You.